On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, we're going to ask some very important questions like, was Dante hot?
And, hey, Death, hey!
And Diana had a rough time with the Hellhound Quiz. How will you do? Let's do this.
Welcome to Season 5, Episode 10 of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
I'm Liz.
And this week we're talking Abandon All Hope.
Do it. Abandon it. Hope is worthless.
Thanks for that
bit
dark? Of motivational speaking for the week.
Yeah, pretty much. That is my point in life, is to bring joy and happiness to all the people. Look, if you don't have any hope, you don't expect anything, then when good things happen, like, it's really good. And then if bad things happen, it doesn't matter because you were already kind of like not expecting anything.
Is that the rule of like low expectations? Is that what we call that? Where you like set expectations very low. You can't be disappointed. Kelly,
yeah, happiness can be found in 3 words: lower your standards. I mean...
Cheers to that, I guess. Yeah. So what have you been up to?
So this week, Twin Temple came to Austin, and that was great. We saw them play with Bridge City Centers, and so that was really nice to finally go see a band in Austin, which does not happen that often, because although Austin is billed as the live music capital of the world, it's not. It's just not anymore. Austin is not what it used to be. So that was very exciting. It was a great show. And now I'm just getting ready because it's Tuesday, October 11th while we're taping this, which means in 2 days, the Winchesters is on. So I get some more Supernatural.
Oh, so when this episode goes live, that's the same day, that morning.
When this episode drops,
and that night the show is on.
It's on.
And I can't watch it.
I will. I will watch it for the first few episodes, and then I will circle back with you, and then give you the opinion.
Concerns.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. I did send you the tweet. Grandpa Winchester. What the fuck is his first name? I can't remember right now. But and it was like, it was like his age when he was in Supernatural in 1973. Yeah, Samuel
Campbell.
Mm-hmm. And it was like, and in the show, he looks like about 40 years younger.
Yeah. It's the Dumbledore effect. It's like what happened in... That's what we'll call that.
It was a rough year, man. It was a rough year for the Campbells.
That's fun stuff. Yeah, we actually had some fairly quiet time and did like adult things. Like I did some crafting and like bought a new oven, which is exciting, but not...
When you're middle-aged, buying a new appliance is very exciting. One of the highlights of your year. It's a very rare and magical thing, and you feel like a grown-up.
Yeah, and I'm going to be so excited to bake this year because I do my holiday baking every year, and it's a big deal. And I've had to fight with my oven for the last 2 years, and this year I won't. It's very exciting. And then we've been watching Welcome to Wrexham. Even if you're not a soccer fan, they've done some cool history episode, talk about some of the culture around soccer. And then if you didn't like Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds before, you will adore them. They are so likable and hilarious. That's my summary and my pitch. But also they're 30-minute episodes, which I always appreciate sometimes. Well, I say always. Every show is an hour long, it feels like, anymore. Sometimes I need a 30-minute fucking show.
Fair.
So, but yeah, so that's been our excitement around here. We're just trucking along.
All right, are we ready to talk about Abandon All Hope? So this episode, like we said, this is not season 10. It is season 5, episode 10. So we're getting almost halfway through the season. This first aired November 19th, 2009. It was directed by Phil and was written by Ben Edlund. So we have, some pretty big meat behind this. The title is a reference to a line of Dante's Inferno, and that is written over the gates of hell. And it says, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." From the uplifting person of Dante.
Yeah.
I bet Dante was fucking hot. I'm just pretty sure. Like, he was like probably all like dark and gloomy, and like he knew all these things about like hell. Like, yeah, I bet he was smoking.
Liz wants to bang Dante.
We'll find a picture and we'll find out. All right, so we're gonna talk about someone else who Liz wants to bang in a minute. So we start off with a limo, right? Well, we get this very like aerial shot of mini crossover paths that give me anxiety attacks as I'm watching all these cars.
All the overpasses. All the overpasses.
Breathe. You're not going to fly off the overpass. You're not going to fly off the overpass.
You're not. And so it's this fancy like limo town car under these overpasses. A man gets out and is burying something. Is this a crossroads, perhaps?
Sure looks like it. He's got a little shovel. He brought a little spade. He has a little hole done.
And then a man named Crowley appears.
What?
Finally get to meet Crowley. Yay!
It's Crowley.
Yay!
I am wearing my Crowley Hellhound Ale shirt today. Enjoy that view, everybody, of the shirt. So Diana finally gets to meet Mr. Crowley.
Yes. Yep. And our gentleman who was burying something was expecting a pretty young girl and knew that his deal would be sealed with a kiss. So he is not fucking stoked about Crowley being there, which is kind of funny. And Crowley's like, yeah, no, it's a big deal. So I need to be here. And there's like a nice little exchange here about this man's homophobia, and to get this deal he's gonna have to kiss Crowley. So
and basically it's for a bank bailout because he is a old white man who needs a bailout, and sadly does not want to kiss Crowley. And I don't care like what gender you are, preference, like why would you not want to kiss this man? Like I don't understand that. So but it's just like, yeah, kiss him. And I also just kind of really enjoy watching this type of man get put in this situation and squirm through it. Like, yeah, motherfucker, make out with him.
Well, on that note, we figure out that Castiel is watching this all go down, and he is on the phone and talking about it. Got him. He's making a deal. It's going down. It's pretty funny.
And Dean calls him Huggy Bear, which I also appreciate that reference. And then Mr. Pendleton is just like, damn you. And I think that's because he really liked kissing him.
Sure, that's your interpretation.
Also, if I had a soul to sell, does that mean I get to make out with Crowley? I'd be willing to like throw that out there.
Noted. Yeah, Crowley's like, enjoy the obscene wealth. See you in 10 years. Ooh. So now we know basically that Castiel is following Crowley, and that's where so he oversaw this deal go down. And so Castiel follows Crowley to this building, which is covered in Enochian sigils, so he can't get in.
He cannot get in. So he calls
for backup.
And we cut to this wonderful scene of Crowley making himself a drink while he watches Nuremberg footage.
Yeah.
I think it's Nuremberg. I don't know. It's some Nazi shit. So he's watching
Nazi propaganda films, it looked like.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. That's what he's just doing. Well, I think everybody plays the fools in the background right now.
By the main ingredient.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Love that song. It is also kind of perfect for him.
Yeah. We see, though, a attractive young blonde lady approach the gate. Who is this in this little black dress? It's Joe!
What?
She's like, my car broke down. I need some help. And security's like, sure, we can help you, miss. They're real creepy about it.
Yeah, they're real rapey. They're just like, yep, nope, you can't go anywhere. You're coming in with us. And then they get stabbed by Sam. And that was very satisfying.
Because they're demons.
Right.
They're not just rapey security guards. They were rapey demons. So now we know that the team is all on the site, right? We've got Sam, we got Dean, and we've got Joe all there. And we see the power cuts off to the house, and Crowley's like, motherfucker. So he goes to investigate what's going on. And he's like, he senses obviously who's there or figured it out, whatevs. Like, so the Hardy Boys finally found me. He doesn't sound like that at all.
No, he does not. No, it was much sexier than that. And he's also just way too smart for their demon trap that they tried to put on the rug. And he's just very rightfully pissed off that they ruined a very expensive rug.
I mean, rugs are expensive.
Even rugs are expensive. Rugs and I don't understand why rugs are expensive. It's a stupid thing to cost that much. But like, they cost way more money than they should. I don't understand it. And like, why are you spending that much money for something that's just inevitably going to get fucked up? Like, I don't get it. Go with a hardwood floor. All right. So Dean and Sam end up getting cornered by some demon thugs.
Right. And security grabs them from behind. And Crowley's got the Colt because he knows that that's what they're there for. So he points it at them. And then he shoots his security guys. What the fuck? I literally wrote, whoa. I wrote that. WHO.
Whoa, dude.
And I was not high.
Yeah. And the boys are very, very confused about this.
Yeah. And he's just like, we need to talk. So.
And Sam just gets like the dumbest look on his face. It's just like.
Yeah. It's like, really like, huh? But basically, Crowley tells him that no one's supposed to have known that the cult exists. That's the whole thing. So he's like, look, I want you to take it to Lucifer and empty it in his face. Huh. That's confusing, too, because that is not what anybody expected him to say. So, yep. Dean is very suspicious of this shit, rightfully so. And Crowley goes on to explain to them that it's all about survival. He's like, look, and that calls them functioning morons, which was funny. But basically, like, look, Lucifer is an angel, not a demon. He fucking hates humans. Okay, so what does he think of demons if he hates humans? Because demons are lower than humans. So they're just servants and cannon fodder. So after he eliminates humans, what's going to happen to the fucking demons? He's going to exterminate them next. So what's his best bet? Get rid of Lucifer now. He wants to keep the status quo best he can, and it's what it is.
It's a power play.
Yeah. He wants to go back to simple times.
No, he just wants to keep being really, the king of the crossroads. So, right. And when he calls them morons, it's also in a very great way, because the bear pretty much just like, what do we do if you fuck up? And he's like, how about you don't fuck it up, dude? Like, so good. And he nags the shit out of them, which I also like. I really am a good fan of this. He was just like, I'm going to make you feel bad about yourself so you want me more. Yeah, I get you, Crowley. All right, so we're going to cut from there to Bobby's house. And there is a plethora of shots just lined up.
So many shots. And apparently it's Castiel and Ellen doing shots.
Yeah, so Ellen and Cass are doing shots. And Cass, because he's an angel, really can't get that fucked up. We've talked about this before. So he just downs. But also, like, even if you're not getting fucked up, like, that just seems like it would be harsh on poor Jimmy's stomach. Even though it's not Jimmy anymore. Does your stomach still, like, you've got to process this out. There's something about the angel thing that I don't understand. And that's, does Cass poop? So I'm like that, or pee, right? He doesn't eat, but he's clearly drinking a bunch of liquor. So where does it go?
Yeah, that if he doesn't eat, but then how does Jimmy's body sustain itself if there's no nutrients? Anyways, there's questions here that are unanswered.
I don't get it. But Ellen is very impressed by this, and Cass is just like, maybe I'm getting buzzed. Maybe.
After a bunch of shots in a row. Yeah. And Joe's hanging out, just sipping a beer. Sam and Dean are talking, and they're, Dean is super fucking amused that Sam is having trust issues with a demon, which is just a good little jab.
Yep.
But they're talking about what Crowley said. And Dean's like, look, if it's a trap or not, if we've got a snowball's chance, we have to take this chance. We have to try, whether it's a trap or it's not a trap. Because if we know where the devil's going to be, when he's going to be there, and we have a weapon, why would we not fucking try?
Right. The biggest failure is not trying at all. So I've heard.
Something like that.
But Sam is also just like, look, we need to do this together, because Dean thinks that
Like,
he
no, we need to separate.
Yeah, he should send the vessel as far away as possible, which also makes sense. But Sam thinks, no, we have to learn from our mistakes and we're better off together. I don't believe that. I think that's stupid. But then Dean also gets distracted by Joe's ass.
Yeah, which is also a stupid idea.
It is a stupid idea, but a fine ass that they were focusing on. It was lovely.
It was. So Dean does go attempt to hit on good old Joe.
And she's in a Misfit shirt.
Oh, I missed it. How did I miss that? Dang. So he's doing the big mission tomorrow. Time to eat, drink, and be merry. She's like, are you giving me the last night on Earth speech? And he's like, if I was, would it work? And she leans in, and you think she's going to kiss him, and you think she might kiss him. And she said, no, if it's my last night, I'm going to spend it with my self-respect. Ouch, Joe.
Ouch, that was a burn. And silly, because you should have banged him. What is wrong with you? What, like, there's liquor there, like, you're off to go fight the devil? Yeah, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Dean's response, though, is if you're into that sort of thing.
So Bobby gets everybody to take this group photo together.
Yeah,
and
sweet. You have to. That's like me in the group. I'm always like, everybody get together. We're taking a picture.
Yes, you do that.
I do
a lot.
I know.
So,
well, I want to apologize.
Then Cass just like bums it out, and he was like, yep, so this is our last night on Earth, and everyone just kind of realizes it, and then you see everyone processing it right when the camera takes off, which I think is better than cheese. I think that's like the equivalent of, what if I ran and kicked you all in the shins right before like the timer went off, just so I could capture that expression.
And it was a really cool old Pentax film camera with a flash bulb, and I have one of those flash bulb containers at my house, which is pretty cool. That was my dad's. And in the background of this whole scene, we have Santana Oyo Como Va playing.
Chorizo. So we're cutting to the land where the cell phone service has once again died. No matter how far you hang your hand outside of your car with your cell phone, you will not pick up a signal.
Carthage, Missouri.
And there are missing posters everywhere.
Yeah.
There is a giant billboard that says anti-God is anti-American, but that is also right next to a sign that advertises adult videos.
Yeah.
Get your patriotism and your porn.
It's a super quiet street. You can tell, like, it's raining a little bit. There's no one on the street. Like, everywhere looks closed. It's sketch. Super sus is what the kids would say these days.
Kids would say it is sus.
Sus. We have Ellen and Joe pull up next to the brothers, and they've got Castiel in the car with them. And they're like, yeah, everything's fucking empty. What the fuck? And so Sam and Dean are like, we're gonna go to the police department, because maybe they'll know what the fuck's going on. And Ellen, Joe, and Castiel are like, yeah, we're just gonna get out of the car and wander around in this sketchy ass street, because that seems like a great plan. But they get out, and Castiel's like, oh no, it's not empty. Which is even creepier, by the way. Because if you're standing there with somebody and you're like, man, this street's fucking empty. Where the fuck is everybody? And they're like, it's not empty. It's full of fucking reapers.
And not just reapers, it's fucking old man reapers. So, and Cass is just like, he can see them everywhere. And why they went back with this trope when before we had already established that reapers could be like Tess and, be attractive young women or just anything, not a creepy old man.
Maybe they didn't invite the cute ones. They only invited the creepy old ones to this gathering.
Maybe like the new ones were like, we are tired of this death shit and we don't want to come to your corporate sing along, because that is, as we're going to find out, we'll get to this is going to be a corporate sing along. So
yeah.
And he follows one into a building and
oopsies. Guess what? Now he's stuck in a circle.
Ring of fire.
All we hear is hello, brother, at this point.
And it's
we'll find out soon.
Yes, but we all know it's Lucifer. Yeah. We all know it's him. And oh fuck, now you're in it. But how did he get? I don't know. So somehow he magically set off the ring of fire. And so he's in his special holy oil that I guess Lucifer also went to the Holy Land and found a hipster selling the hipster farmer's market where all the angels these days are just buying him out of all of his special oil.
I mean, it might be a really great market.
Maybe. Do you think that he's just like in the back? It's just like that like really shitty like supermarket olive oil that doesn't have like a lid on it, and he just keeps putting in there like, oh no, it's special holy oil, and it like this entire time like it's not actually keeping them in it. Anyways, so he's stuck in holy oil. Town's full of reapers, and Lucifer's vessel. It's kind of gross.
Yeah, Lucifer's vessel is not taking being a vessel well. He's got some sores going. There's some sores going, some veiny things going on under his skin.
Scabby stuff.
Scabbies. It's not cute.
It's not a good look. It's not. It's really not. No. A very effective makeup. But while, this is affecting his skin and possibly his nighttime regime, it is not affecting his ability to evil monologue. No, that is quite fine.
Yeah. And so he goes on his tangent. Now, before he goes on tangent, I'll note, at this point also, all of our hunters have reconvened and realized that they don't know where the fuck Castiel is. And they're like not thrilled about this. So... And the police department was empty. So we still don't have they don't have any fucking answers about the city. All we know is that Castiel now has to listen to this fucking monologue.
Yep. So Cass is like, wait, this is probably why like angels put each other in rings of fire so they can monologue at them. Like you can't go anywhere. Like, fuck.
That is accurate. Anyways, Lucifer though tries to, imply that him and Cass have a lot in common. By, look, we both rebelled, we were both cast out. And if Lucifer gets killed, well, then who's next on the enemy list for the angels? Obviously, it's going to be Cass. So he should serve his own interests and help Lucifer. Duh. Which is a really kind of a convoluted way to get to that. But whatever. But Cass, we get Cass's little loyalty. And
he loves his little monkeys.
He said, I'll die first.
Oh, so cute. And we get back to the hunting party, and they all have sawed-off shotguns for some reason.
For some reason. Why not?
That was all the weapon of choice for this. I get to see them. They all stood around trunk, and I'm assuming the Cherokee or whatever Ellen was driving had like the same similar thing in the back. And they're just like, so what do we take? And they're like, the tiny guns that don't hold a lot.
Well, it's just yeah. Sure, it was a weird choice, but they all got the same weapon, which I'm like, that's a weird choice.
And for demons, right? Like, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about their weapon choice. Yeah. But speaking of demons, it's Meg. It's Meg.
That bitch Meg.
It's Meg. Yeah, and she's not alone.
She's not. She's got something in the puddle next to her. We see something shuffling around.
She brought puppies.
Hell puppies. Yay.
Yay, little hell puppies.
Oh my god. Yeah, she got hellhounds. Ruh-roh.
Dean's gonna have a little bit of PTSD, and she kind of jabs him about it.
Yeah.
And she tells him that Lucifer wants to meet them. And then Dean shoots a puppy. No, don't shoot the puppy.
Yeah. Yeah, so then all the puppies chase them.
The invisible puppies are just running after them. It's kind of hard to run away from things that are invisible.
It is. I don't want to be chased by invisible mean puppies. But unfortunately, Dean gets knocked down by one. So Joe stops to help him, of course. And they're shooting, and it's invisible. And then Dean gets up, but then Joe gets attacked, and she gets bit real bad.
She gets mauled.
Very bad. Her belly, her innards and her stomach region are not good. They're not where they're supposed to be.
No, they're coming out of her, which is never a good place to be. And so they escape into a very convenient hardware store.
So convenient.
That just happened to be prepping for the winter. I guess they get snow in Missouri.
And
they do. Yeah.
I didn't look up where in Missouri Carthage is, but I went to basic training in fucking Missouri, and we got a lot of snow up in the Ozarks. This Texan was shoveling snow with a broom for the army. Thank you very much. So they've got lots of rock salt. Convenient at this moment in time.
And chains. Convenient.
Yes. But Jo is not good. Not good.
She's not doing well.
No, she's lost a shit ton of blood, and she's going into shock.
Yep.
For sure.
She's getting pale.
Yeah. And you can tell Ellen's trying to take care of her, but when Dean and Sam are trying to talk about how she is, it's all they can exchange is a look, basically. They can't even talk about it. So, but they also know that Lucifer is in town. So this is their fucking shot. So they've got to figure out a plan. With or without Jo.
Gotta have a plan, man. Gotta have a plan. So we cut to Bobby's, and he's listening to a radio?
Well, he's got his radio on, but he was also trying to call them and was unsuccessful because, as we know, there's no fucking cell signal. But luckily, in this hardware store, they did have a radio system, and Dean was able to get the radio working and calls Bobby on that.
Very convenient. He calls him KC5 Fox Delta Oscar. I couldn't make anything up out of those letters. I feel like it probably stands for something, but I did not see anything. So Dean tells Bobby that Jo is not okay.
Not good. Yeah, that's not so good. Bobby's like, so what's next? And Dean has to kind of pull himself together because he wasn't ready to answer that. And he's got to refocus as the good little soldier he is and figure out back on the mission instead of thinking about Jo. So they start talking about like dozens of reapers, and Bobby's like, oh, Bobby's reading the Bible and some other books, and he's like, no, sounds like death, son. It's a ritual to unleash death.
Death, the horseman. But the dozens of reapers thing, that came because Ellen said by the way Cass's eyes were looking at things, she thought there must have been about a dozen. What?
I don't know.
What? How? What? I don't know. But so, yeah, Bobby has his fancy marked up Bible and this other quite illustrated book. So he's reading up on the Battle of Carthage. And the Battle of Carthage is actually a real thing. It was like the first real battle of the Civil War. And it happened in Carthage, Missouri. And 7,100 people fought in it, and they think about 6,000 of those were on the Confederate side, and 1,100 were on the Union. It was estimated that 244 people out of those died, 200 on the Confederate side, and 44 on the Union. So I just thought that was interesting that this is actually
actual,
because he said, Bobby said that it was the Battle of Hellhole, and I wanted to see if it really was the Battle of Hellhole. I didn't see that. But it was a battle. It was a big battle.
So they're now realizing the Pale Rider in the flesh could be attempting to make an appearance at William Jasper's farm. We cut to Meg. She's with Lucifer and with Castiel. And Lucifer is progressively looking worse, I feel like, in this episode too, or just the lighting does it really well. But
they're yellowing him out a lot.
Yeah, and she's all excited because the Winchesters are pinned down in the hardware store. And he's like, yeah, okay, leave him alone there. But we see Castiel is obviously up to something because he is looking at some pipes along the ceiling. Ooh.
Maybe he has a plan.
Maybe so. Back in the hardware store, Sam and Dean are like, okay, we know where the devil's going to be, when he's going to be there, and we got the fucking Colt. Ellen's still trying to help Jo. No improvements whatsoever in that regard. So they're talking about how they have to get past the Hellhounds to get Jo and Ellen out of town, and they're about to make a stretcher, and then Jo puts her foot down. This is where it gets sad.
Yeah, it gets very, very dark, very fast.
I cried.
Yeah, I cry too all the time. Every time I watch it, I cry. So basically, she just says, I'm dying and I want to go out with a bang, a literal bang.
Hey. But yeah, she's like, I can't move my legs. I can't be moved. Let's get our priorities straight. Let's fucking do this. And Ellen's upset about it, but Joe's like, no, I can't do it. I can't walk. Let's fucking figure it out. So get the propane, get the rock salt, get the iron nails, because we're in a fucking hardware store. Let's make a big ass bomb.
Let's make lots of dirty bombs.
She's like, look, once the Hellhounds have our scent, they're going to keep coming after us. So we will build all these fucking bombs, and then I will hold the detonator. We'll open the door while the brothers run out, and then when the hounds run for me, I will set off the bombs, and we'll take out a bunch of them.
That's the plan.
It's actually a decent plan if you've got like that kind of a situation. It's not good, but anyways, so they start bomb making.
They do. They start bomb making. Then we get a very touching moment between Dean and Joe.
Well, yeah, first Sam has a very delicate goodbye and with no words. And then Dean's handing her the trigger and says, I'll see you on the other side, probably sooner than later. And she says, make it later. But then he leans down and kisses her on the forehead. And then leans back and then tenderly kisses her on the mouth. Am I making it bad for you?
I don't like it. Use the word tenderly. I don't like. What? Ew. Gross.
What? Kissing tenderly is gross?
Ugh. So gross. All right. And so, but this is where I first start getting something in my eye.
Oh, yeah. Then, my notes are in all caps. Say, this is super sad. Now it's Ellen's turn. I'm crying. That's literally what I wrote down. Like, oh my God. Oh. Very upsetting. So, yeah. Ellen goes to say her goodbye to Joe. Or so we think. But no. She decided that she has to stay because someone has to let the hounds in and Joe can't. So both Ellen and Joe are sacrificing themselves.
Not one, but both.
We're losing both of them. Oh, so sad. So she tells them to go and don't miss.
Well, and she tells Dean to kick it in the ass. And so kick it in the ass was actually a phrase that Kim Manners used to say. And he would say it on the set all the time. So this was actually the idea from one of the cameramen, Brad, who went to Ellen, or the actress playing Ellen, Samantha, and basically he came up to her like quietly, and he's like, before they shot the piece, and so she says, where you say goodbye to Dean, instead when you say turn around and say don't miss, say one where you say kick it in the ass. It was just supposed to be Dean don't miss. So they did both. They put both in. People started crying, and it was just a very touching tribute to Kim Manners, which I think is really, really sweet. And also probably helped with how emotional everybody was during the scene. And apparently they were all very emotional while this was filming and all the things that are happening during this.
Yeah, understandably. I mean, jeez. So we get Ellen unchains the door, turns on the gas. We got Sam and Dean are out. They're fucking hauling ass already. And then Ellen tells Joe that she'll always love her, but Joe's already dead.
She's already gone.
And the hounds enter the store, and Ellen
they're just making a mess too. They're just knocking shit off. I'm like, are you sure these aren't invisible cats? Because they're just knocking things off the shelves right and left. And that is much more of a cat thing than an invisible dog.
That's true. And she waits until I get close enough so she can feel their breath in her hair. Hold on, dog breath is bad. Imagine hellhound breath. Ugh. And she says, you can go straight back to hell, you ugly bitch. Kaboom.
Kaboom. And then the store explodes. Ah! And all the hellhounds are gone. So let's lighten the mood a little bit, because we're going to have to deal with Ellen and Joe dying at some point, but we can put it off. And let's talk about hellhounds, because they're puppies and we love puppies. Maybe it's just the owners are bad and hellhounds are fine, and it's just how they're being trained, and maybe they're super sweet, but they're also everywhere. They have been in pop culture for a very long time, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to quiz Diana about hellhounds in pop culture. Well, some of it's pop, some of it's history. So we're going to get some historical hellhound questions. Oh. All right. Oh. So your first question, you ready?
Sure.
In Goethe, the German author Goethe, in his play Faust, Mephistopheles appears to Faust as a hellhound, and this hellhound looks most closely like which breed of dog? Is it A, a bull mastiff, B, a Rottweiler, C, a German shepherd, or D, a poodle?
I'm going to go with mastiff.
It was a poodle.
Oh.
Which I just think is adorable. Can you imagine a little like satanic poodle?
I mean, standard poodles are badass. I don't want them.
They're adorable and they're pretty, and yeah, you imagine when there's like evil. Ooh, yes. All right. Speaking of evil, in Neil Gaiman's and Terry Pratchett's novel Good Omens, Adam, aka the Antichrist, receives a hellhound companion that he names what? Is it A, Satan, B, Lucy, C, dog, or D, beast?
Beast.
It was dog.
No, it was dog. I knew it. Oh, I love that book too. Fuck.
And that book and the television series, so great. Ooh, maybe I'll rewatch that soon.
Season 2's coming. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm making a season. Ooh, what? Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend I did not hear that. Okay, it'll probably be great, but all right. Number 3, in arguably one of the best episodes of television ever made, Buffy the Vampire Slayer: The Prom, which was in season 3, if you forgot, Twat Waffle Tucker has raised hellhounds to react to what? Is it A, vampires, B, formal wear, C, cheerleaders, or D, jazz?
Vampires?
Formal wear. Oh my god, you're doing so bad. No. Hellhounds are gonna come sniffing at your door. All right, come on, let's redeem yourself here. All right, number 4. In the original Ghostbusters, Dana meets a hellhound and later becomes that hellhound. What was that hellhound's name? Was it A, Spot, B, Gozer, C, Zool, or D, Vince Clortho?
Zool.
Yeah! It was
There
Zool.
Is no Dana, only Zool.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
You got one. I should have known dog. I'm mad at myself for that one. The other 2 I can let slide. But
all right. No. Number 5. In clearly one of the best vampire movies ever made, Lost Boys, the Hellhound Thorn guards which vampire? Is it David, B, Marco, C, Max, or D, Edgar?
Marco.
No, it was Max. It was Edward Herman. David was Kiefer. Marco was Alex Winter. Max is Ed Herman. And then Edgar was Corey Feldman.
Damn it.
Yep.
Who, by the way, is touring for Halloween on the Lost Boys tour right now. There you go. You're welcome. Or not welcome. It's something to do.
Okay. This one,
last one. See if I can get more
than
one right.
I think I'm going to give you a bonus question because I think you've earned some chances to redeem yourself. All right. So next to last one. In the book that may have changed the world, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone, depending on what part of the world you live in, the 3-headed dog Fluffy was likely based on which ancient Greek mythological beast? Was it A, Hydra, B, Cerberus, C, Minotaur, or D, Chimera?
I thought it was Cerberus.
It is! Hooray!
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't miss
that one. Oh.
All right.
Now I'm all nervous. Pressure's on.
All right, so you will pass if you get this one right. This will put you into passing. You won't fail. All right, so your bonus question. In possibly the best television show ever created, What We Do in the Shadows, what is the name of the hellhound adopted first by Derek and later by Baron and the sire? Is it A, Sheila, B, Aspen, C, Jeff, or D, Carol?
Damn it. No.
Is it Sheila, Aspen, Jeff, or Carol?
Not Jeff. It's not Jeff.
No, it's not Jeff.
It's not Jeff.
Jeff.
I'm going to go with Sheila, but that's all I got. I'm damn wrong.
No, Sheila was the siren.
Damn
Aspen is the dog.
Oh,
the best little hellhound ever.
He's adorable. I know.
They actually don't say his name that often.
Well, that makes me feel a little better.
So
they're just terrified of him.
They're terrified of him, except for Guillermo.
Yeah.
Not Guillermo.
Not you, Guillermo.
Not you, Guillermo. Yeah. I think you're gonna hear scratching at your door tonight. All right, so let's get out of our game show mode.
Okay, we got the sads. We got the game show.
Now we had to go back to the sads.
Our Winchester brothers see the fire and they know what it means in the store. So they're running. They're going back. They've got to refocus on the mission. So they're running to the woods to go to the farm where they know Lucifer will be. And Sam tries to ask Dean about like last words. And I'm like, that's weird. Don't ask these things. But as they arrive at the farm, they see like all these people standing around watching Lucifer dig. Well, apparently these are the townspeople.
Why is Lucifer digging?
I don't know.
You have an entire. I was like, do you have like? Does it say you have to get sweaty doing this? Because you have a bunch of people who are clearly underneath. I bet Meg would dig that hole for you. Like, right? hey, bitch, Meg, and she'd be like, yes, sir. And
start digging, motherfucker.
Yeah. It just no. I didn't understand that part. Weird. Yep, that was weird.
Don't get it. We see Sam yells "Hey" and just like walks up and says like, "Oh, you want to see me?
Hi.
You want to see me?" And Lucifer's like, "Oh, you don't need a gun. I'd never hurt you. Not really." But Dean's next to him, and he's got the Colt at Lucifer's head. He goes, "Oh, yeah? Well, I'd hurt you, so suck it." And pulls the trigger.
I do appreciate people telling someone to suck it before you shoot them. Like if you got to shoot Hitler, right? Be like, suck it, Hitler.
Suck it. Oh my gosh. So Lucifer falls to the ground, but nothing happens. Like,
did it work? Did we do it? Is it done?
Then he kind of like sputters and like says "ow" and gets up.
No, it did not work. And now he's got this very weird brand in his forehead.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It could be a cool scar. What the fuck?
I guarantee you somebody's branded something similar in their forehead.
Oh, God.
Meth.
Yeah. And he's like, where did you get that? He's talking about the gun, the Colt. And then he hits Dean real hard and flings him into a tree while he heals his own wound. It's real weird. He's like, he tells Sam, he's like, basically like, I don't feel too bad. There's like 5 things in all of creation that gun can't kill. I'm just one of them. So now I want to know what the other 4 are, to be clear. I'm assuming God's the other one. One of the 5. We've got God and Lucifer. But there's 3 other things that it can't kill? What the fuck are they?
Oh.
It just seems like a missing point. Anyways. And so he just goes back to fucking digging. It pretty much
sets everybody to want that. So, but yeah, so he goes back to digging.
Keep digging his hole. And keeps, Sam's checking on Dean, but Lucifer's still talking. Doesn't really give a fuck about Dean. He's just talking to Sam. He's like,
no, Dean, he's not talking to Sam. He's monologuing again.
Well, he's a monologuing motherfucker. angels, man, they love a monologue. So he's like, would you just say yes and end this discussion? Well, I think it'll happen in about 6 months in Detroit. Oof, that was rough. But, well, and Sam goes off. He's like, yeah, no, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'll rip your heart out. And Lucifer's like, we get the fucking Star Wars shit going here. He's like, yes. Need that pent up rage. Let it flow through you. Isn't that what it is? Like, let the hate flow through you. That's what it felt like to me.
Okay.
You didn't get that vibe?
No, but cool.
I'm not even a Star Wars fan. I mean, I don't dislike Star Wars, to be clear. I'm not a Star Wars super fan person. I like Star Wars, but
I don't give a shit about Star Wars. Anyways, all right. Whatever. So
Sam's like, what did you do to this town? And Lucifer continues his fucking monologue. And he's like, one demon for every able-bodied man that killed the rest. And it's awful, but the horsemen are real demanding, and women and children first. So does this mean like opposite of like what usually you save the women and children first? Instead, he killed the women and children first and then traded all of the able-bodied men with demons?
Yes.
That's fucked.
Yeah. He's Lucifer. And he starts going off about this on why he and Sam are alike. And we have been seeing this throughout ever since we learned that Dean was a vessel and that Sam was a vessel, that this whole idea that there is a similarity and the symmetry between these two. And he starts playing on Sam's token words, and he's just like, yeah, Michael called me a freak and called me a monster, not the freak word again. Oh no.
And beat me down for being different. And Lucifer just turns around and resumes his ritual.
Says some nonsense words,
and then possessed townspeople are chanting with him, and then they all start collapsing and dying, and Sam's just fucking horrified, as he should be. And Lucifer's like, oh, they're just demons.
They all die. They did.
Kind of gives a little bit of credence to Crowley's theory, by the way.
Yeah, that could also be something that would sway one that way.
Castiel, we cut back to him, and he's still in his stupid ring of fire, and stupid Meg is still there. Meg's not stupid, but she's a bitch. So there we go. And she's just she's all fucking cocky. She's like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win.
And then because Cass can not be baited, I guess, he has to tell her, like, no, a demon named Crowley told us something different. Why did you tell her that? Meg don't need to know that.
No, I was like, that's a weird flex to share that information, because she ain't gonna buy it. She ain't gonna flip. So, but he's able to get, with his angel-y powers, he's able to get a pipe to break loose, and it falls from the ceiling and knocks Meg into the circle. And Cass grabs her and presses his hand to her forehead, and nothing happens.
No.
What did she say? What did she say, Liz?
He had angel dysfunction.
What does she say?
Like, he can't gank demons.
Can't gank.
He can't gank them. Also, it was made clear through Meg's dialogue that she also knows Crowley. So this is not an unknown entity to her. And basically she just says, you don't know him. And so we said, maybe Crowley, the demon, is shady.
What?
Well, a demon can be shady?
Well, I mean, there's so many questions now. Since the cult didn't work, Crowley made them think that nobody should know about the cult. So that made it seem like he knew a lot about it. But then also the cult didn't fucking work on Lucifer. Though granted, they only put one bullet in him instead of emptying it into his face, like Lucifer, like that Crowley had encouraged them to do. But then Meg's like a little like, really? I don't think that he really believes that. So there's like all these layers of like, what does Crowley really mean? And is he trustworthy or not? Or is he setting them up or not? Or is it Meg that doesn't believe the right shit? Who knows? A lot of lies here.
Who knows? And if you like did empty it into his face and like you made a hole, could he grow the hole back?
I don't know. That's why I was like, maybe. I thought about that afterwards. I was like,
well, I guess he could just shift vessels, right? Because that's, I don't know. Because it
has to be a willing vessel, and all he had was a bunch of dead bodies with demons
and then does
in
he
them.
just like hang out like in a corpse? Like, what does he do? I have no face, and just like just like holy face corpse, just go walking around, and so. But it also very much looks like Cass and Meg are gonna make out. Like she's just like on top of him, and
but then he's like, "What are you gonna do?" And he throws her down on the ground over the fire and walks over her body.
He made a coat over a puddle just with Meg.
Yeah. Oh. I said, damn, Cass.
I wonder what the special oil does to a demon. But so outside, the ritual is still happening, and Cass just shushes everybody. Shh. Shh, Dean. Shh, Dean.
The earth is shaking. Lucifer's smirking. And we can tell something is coming out of the ground. And all we see is Lucifer looking up and saying, well, hello, Death.
Like the way you said it. Like, well, hello, Death.
Well, hello, Death.
Would you like to subscribe to my annual...
Hi.
Hi, Death. Hello, Death. So, Death. So, what's been going on lately with you? Oh my God, Death, you don't even understand. Did you see my skin right now? It's falling off. It is so bad. I need a new face. Can you help me, Death? Can you?
Oh my gosh. It's sus. This is not good.
No,
it's bode poorly.
So now we know there is likely another horseman.
Right, because we already faced...
riding a pale white horse.
Yes, we've already faced war, so now we've got Death.
Yeah, so if you had a pale white horse, what would it be?
Oh, for like a car?
Well, whatever you want your pale white horse to be.
Oh. I mean, it would be a car. I don't know. I have to think on that.
I would think like a Boss Hog Cadillac convertible with like the long hair.
That... See, I'm like, that seems appropriate. Like with the fucking horns on the front. Like you go all out then.
But no, maybe not horns. Maybe like skull and crossbones instead of the horns.
Yeah, yes. I'm on board with that. See, in my head, I was going like luxury. Like I was like, oh, do you go with the fucking Escalade then? Like, I don't know.
You can go in an Escalade or just like a long white limo would also work. Hummer limo, I don't think that would be appropriate. I'm not sure it'd be a good thing, but
is there an Escalade hearse? There we go. That seems appropriate. I'm just kidding.
Now I want to know if there are.
I don't think
Cadillac still makes hearses, right?
They do. Yeah, no, absolutely. I have sworn up and down I'm sure everybody that knows me knows that I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The hearse, whatever kind of hearse or vehicle there is at my funeral, it must be a goddamn Cadillac. Don't bring me a Lincoln or anything else. No town cars. I love them, don't get me wrong. But it better be a fucking Cadillac. That's all I know.
So we know, so we've got Death. Diana's got to think about what her car is going to be. She'll post that on the Insta. I can't wait to hear her answer. I think mine would be actually like maybe like a white Shetland pony. Ooh, maybe some white goats. Some white goats pulling... That is very pagan of me too, right? So I forget which goddess had that. Yeah, a chariot pulled by white goats.
Ooh, sounds right.
And maybe screaming goats like the ones in Thor. Sorry if I spoiled that for you, but they're amazing. The screaming goats are worth the entire thing. It's so absurd. Okay, sorry, I'm done spoiling Marvel movies for everybody. All right, so although that's like not the plot line, like, but the thing that I would care about. So anyhow, so we're gonna cut back to Bummerland, aka Bobby's house, and they didn't clean up the shot glasses. Bobby, you've had a couple days. Put them in the sink, motherfucker. Like, I know you're in a wheelchair, but you're an able man. Like, clean up your shit, Bobby. Like, I know, like, reading about the Carthage is, I mean, granted, I mean, mine would at least be in the sink.
in the sink. That's all we're asking for. We're not saying you have to like wash them and
You
put
don't
them
have to wash
away
them.
and
Just
dust
put them
the
in the
house.
sink.
Just drop them in the sink. It's fine.
Don't leave glasses. It's weird.
Bobby.
And then,
so the radio's on, and it's saying that there's an update that the governor's declared a state of emergency in multiple cities, including Carthage. And there's been a number of tornadoes, and basically it's going to shit around Carthage.
Also, like we did with Oklahoma, this is Missouri, and that's a Tuesday. Anyways, so while that depressingness is happening in Missouri and everything is burning down and tornadoes are twisting cows away, Bobby takes a picture out and then he burns it. Bobby.
Yeah, I don't understand this. Like, I was very, very confused by this. Like, wouldn't that mean all the more reason that picture had more value?
Right?
Like, that's why we take pictures in a way, is to remember people and to remember moments in time and to hold on to those. And this was a very special one. And now, especially that you've lost these people, why the fuck wouldn't you want this picture? I was very distressed.
It was very distressful. The only thing, at least there's probably a negative, because that was a film camera. Yeah, so at least we can remake it again, take it to the Quickie Max or wherever you can take. Bobby takes his photos too.
It was just weird.
Bobby goes to like a Quickie Mart. Like, oh, man, I miss the photo booths. Those were so cool. Not the photo booths, the photo stands. The fucking where everyone's like dirty porn pictures got developed by like one guy named Todd.
I like the local Eckards. That was, for those that don't know, that was the name of the pharmacies before Walgreens and CVS. Anyways, yeah, it was very distraught. I'm like, why did he throw in the fire? Oh my God. So,
do we have any casting notes or yes?
I do.
Okay, so let's go to casting couch.
It's the casting couch. Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
Yes. So this week, since we got to meet our new character for me and for those that are watching the show for the first time, Crowley, played by Mark Sheppard, aka Liz's boyfriend. Not really. I'll be creepy.
He's not my boyfriend. He's kind of mean. Well, I kind of like it. We do know. I will tell you many things about Mark Sheppard, but you can go ahead and talk about what you learned about him.
Let me talk about his acting background, where you may have seen him before, and then I'll let Liz tell you her experience. So he's been on a gazillion TV shows. He was on one episode of X-Files, but he's been on multiple ongoing characters on 24, Medium, Bionic Woman, Battlestar Galactica, Dollhouse, Leverage, and he's been in the first episode of Walker Independence as Hagen, and he'll be on that series, it looks like.
And he's currently in Doom Patrol.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Doom Patrol too. Lots of work. So yeah, you met. I wasn't with you. You went to a con, and you did have the opportunity to meet Mark Sheppard with Peggy. If y'all haven't seen Peggy is our possum puppet friend that has attended events with us. And she likes to party.
Peggy does like to party. She has driven the Impala.
Yep.
She has drank beer out of the back of the Impala.
Yep.
She's a rebel. Not gonna be any good, are you, Peggy? No. So Peggy is adorable, and most people, cast members, even the podcast nemesis, Rob Benedict, love Peggy. Friendly. They love Peggy. Spoiler for Diana, the person who is coming up playing Death called out Peggy to meet her. Like, while I was not even paying for a photo. He wanted to call me over to meet and talk about Peggy. Because I'm a weirdo with a possum puppet. And
because you're having fun, damn it.
And she's a gimmick? Also, she's just awesome. And she's an awesome possum. And Mark Sheppard apparently dislikes possums. And he started telling me about killing possums with a shovel. And it was very distressing. He also asked pressing questions about someone I was in a relationship or sort of relationship with. And it's a weird thing to ask somebody at a photo line. It's just weird, Mark. It's fucking weird. And he's just kind of an arrogant asshole, but in a good way. He's very funny and British.
You liked it.
Of course I liked it. So anyways, Mark, if you're ever listening to this, you never will because you think it's stupid. But... Peggy.
Peggy says hi.
Peggy says hi. I was making possum noises in the microphone.
I know.
I think those are possum noises. Peggy, is that what you sound like? Anyways.
All right. Well, that's all I've got. So we get the super high to start off. We finally meet Crowley. And so I'm all excited. And then the episode takes a terrible turn. Well, it gets real creepy with the fucking Reapers. And then it goes real downhill with losing Joe and Ellen. So RIP, Joe and Ellen. Super sad. And then it's kind of turning around because we think the brothers are going to go like succeed in their mission. And so you're excited. And then it doesn't fucking work. And then you're bummed. And then fucking Death is arriving, but we don't know who Death is yet. So you start, it's like the episode really kind of went like up high, starts high, dives deep down, kind of comes back up a little bit, and then just kind of like slowly goes down the rest of the episode. Like, I was like, this is to be clear, it was it feels weird to say enjoyable episode because it was so much storyline driven, which was really cool to see. But you want to talk about a fucking Bummersville. Like, I've got my Bummersville rating. This rate's real high on Bummersville, right?
Yeah, the 0 days since Bummerland, since we had that sign is now
gone.
Well, no, now it was. I think we've been back 2 episodes since we'd had a trip to Bummerland. Now we're back down to 0. So
0 episodes. Bummer. I get you got to drive the story. I'm not knocking. It's not like this was pointless. I'm sure there's a reason. I guess. I don't know. Did you really have to kill both Joe and Ellen? Whatevs. I'm just saying it was upsetting. I cried.
It's toxic to know the Winchesters.
Well, apparently. But it was sad.
Yep.
So that's what I got.
Lesson learned. Don't be friends with the Winchesters. Just telling you. It's not going to end well for you. Unless you're an angel and one of them is in love with you. That'll work. Maybe. Kind of. Although you already exploded once. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I love this episode. Well, obviously, because Crowley. And
Meg has to learn about this character.
Yes. And we get things. We start off with just that sense of humor that he brings, which is a very sophisticated, swarthy, swarmy, sexy. Oh, my daddy. Yeah. He's a zaddy. Definitely a zaddy. But yeah, the Joe and Ellen death. Like, I cry every fucking time. I know it's going to come. I know it's happening. I know. But nope. I cry every time.
It's exceptionally well acted, number one. And it's a very like, I think for any young woman trying to be her own woman and their relationship with their mother's tied into that, like there's layers upon layers of like extra sad in here, to be fair.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that touch you.
A lot to unpack.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack, and just see where do the feelings go?
Deep down. I'm just kidding. This is not psychological advice. Anyways,
I do not have any sort of medical degree. Shove your feelings down. That's where they belong. Bottle them up. and sit on them until they explode and you're just crying in a Kmart. I don't know if Kmart still exists, but you could be crying in one.
You could. You could.
Yeah, especially if you watch this episode. So, but Sam makes a lot of dumb faces in it.
He does. Very overly expressive facial expressions in this one.
I think it's because he didn't have a lot of lines. So there was just lots of...
Somebody told him to act with his face.
Which in the facial expression's not painting over as well in the audio version of this podcast. But if you go to the YouTube version of it, then you can see all the dumb faces that Liz and Diana are making. And they're pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. So... And... Yeah, I mean, for the boys, I feel like this is a lot more about auxiliary characters, which I kind of like. So,
yeah, no, they're like the storyline driven by them completely because it's all about going after Lucifer. Really, what the episode was following all of their ancillary characters, which I thought was kind of neat. I think that's a very valid point. I think it's obvious that you've said it, but I hadn't really put it together.
So many things to think about with this episode. So many. And I think that we're going to stop thinking about them and go cry ourselves to sleep. So cheers, jerk.
Cheers, bitch.